We're going to get started. You know, my life, I was a lot happier when I was president and CEO of a publicly traded company. So I had a staff of 425, and I would fire someone right now because their job was to make sure I was never inconvenienced. How dare I come to Nova to teach you, and there's something called graduation going on. And I'm trying to get a parking spot. You know, my advanced team would have already figured that out for me, so I wouldn't be inconvenienced, either have me arrive earlier or something. But then I had to say to myself, okay, I'm no longer that bigwig. I'm just part of a small little cog that moves the wheel going around. And we're in the business of graduating people, giving them pieces of paper so they can go get jobs. So then I had to say, that's what the end product is. So someday you will get out of here, you will graduate, and you'll go get six-figure jobs.
Next week.
When I was younger, I used to hate when women would come up and say, "Hey, Peter," because I'm saying, I don't know you, should I know you? Those days are long gone. But I'm coming in today and some guy goes,
"Oh, I saw him."
"Professor," he goes, "I had you at FAU a long time ago." I do. Well, look, when they said don't smoke pot in high school, there was probably a reason they said that. And, oh, good, yeah. And he goes, "Thank you so much, great teacher, blah, blah, blah." So I try to quickly turn around. "Oh, so what are you doing here?" "I'm studying taxation." That's it. I go, "Well, that's boring, but you'll make money. Good for you." And he had a girl with him, his girlfriend. And he said to me, "I never forgot what you said the first day of class." And again, this is urban regional planners. These are nicer people than you. These are liberal type people. And I always used to do this, and I said the following. Look, I get paid whether you learn anything or not. I really don't want to be here. Well, why don't we do this? How about I give all of you just B's, and we'll call it a day. We'll go to the beach. Don't tell anyone.
Go.
And I said, however, but if some of you want to work for the A, that's fine. But for every A that I give, I'm going to give a corresponding C. And so I said, you guys speak about it. And you would always have some little girl raise her hand, no disrespect to women. Let's be nice to everyone. Let's all take the B so no one gets to C. And I was waiting for a guy who's more like me say, BS to that. I want my A, and I don't care about anyone getting a C. Well, it's funny, that's what he remembered from me, that first lecture. But you know what he said to me? He goes, "Wow, you taught me that. It shocked me when I was a student to hear that. But you know what? That's the real world.
It's a dog-eat-dog.
It's your deal. If you come work for me, and I'm the senior person in the company, and all of you are my junior analysts, you got your deal, such as your final project, and I can't fund all of them, I'm only going to fund part of those deals. And if quarter after quarter I'm not selecting your deal and you're not getting your bonus, but sooner or later you're probably not going to be here. You know, so it's amazing the lesson that he learned, put in the back of his mind, and then he, they would say that's how it is. That's how it is. You know, I was listening to NPR today, and candidate Donald Trump was brutal to those other 16 Republicans on the trail. And they were interviewing Marco Rubio, the U.S. State Senator. Now, Marco Rubio is not a very tall guy. So Trump, who is taller, was calling him Little Marco during the whole. No one likes to be called that. So they asked Rubio, well, how do you feel about that? And Rubio said, look, I I like boxing. It may not be politically correct to say that, but you're in a boxing match, you beat up each other. And when the match is over, you don't go to the guy and say, hey, I'm sorry I hit you in the nose in the third round. That's what you do. You know, so we gotta have thick skin. But the point of it, it's a boxing match. I'm not gonna give all of you A's. You gotta earn an A. What I wanna do is, I want to get through this book, I want to take a break. I want to go through your final project. I want to give people a choice to do something slightly different if that's going to make them more comfortable where they can still learn. But that's really the key thing. I want to throw some more things at you after the break. I want to help you do your final project. Then we're going to have a vote. And the vote is, we don't need to make the decision now. When I set this agenda up initially, I was thinking a much smaller class. So we have a couple of options. I need to teach you some stuff today, and I need to teach you some stuff next week. Those are the two I gotta throw stuff at. After that, we got a little bit of flexibility on, do we want to flip the order around of when the presentation is due vis-a-vis the final exam? Do we want to turn Father's Day weekend into the take-home exam to get the work done? We don't need to decide that today, but the way I have it set up now is, this is week 4 I teach you, week 5 I teach you, week 6 I teach you, then week 7 is your presentation, then week 8 you don't show up in class, you spend that weekend doing the final. You actually might say, gee, I feel more comfortable with the final, if you've given it to us, than I do with the presentation. So we might want to flip that order. You can think about that in the back of your mind, and then we can decide. I was at the city of Fort Lauderdale yesterday, helping them rewrite their zoning code, and one of the planners came up to me and said, oh, one of your students called me, and he was asking a whole bunch of questions on trying to do this final exam. Based on that, there was a little bit of confusion, so we're going to fix that. Okay, enough BS. That was to give a chance for people to get in and settle in.
Thank you.
Page 131. Chapter 10.